Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. I am Stephanie A. Wynn, and it is Thursday. What is it? January the 20th? Hey, we are alive and we are alive. So, today's topic, don't want to keep you long, but today's topic, I want to talk about how to increase your prices with confidence, right? The reason why I want to talk about this, as you all know, that I will be hosting a Charging Your Worth with Confidence masterclass because I get so many questions about, increasing my pricing. What do I charge? Sorry, I had to turn off my heater. What do I charge? So, Stephanie, what do I need to charge for my products or services? And so I wanted to come on so I can give you some tips, but I also want to invite you to the masterclass. It's the Charging Your Worth masterclass. Included in that masterclass, you're going to get a pricing, an interactive pricing workbook. You will also learn when you leave there, you'll know how to charge and increase your prices with ease. But today, for today's live, I just want to come on and I want to talk about a few things, and that is how to increase your price with confidence, right? So if you can hear me, if you're listening, tuning in live on Facebook, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. If you're listening to this on YouTube, um, go ahead and subscribe
Good
to the
afternoon.
channel. Welcome, Kim. Hey, Kim. Kim from the DMV, keeping it moving with Kim. Yes. Hey, Clifford. Welcome to the live. So today, thank you all for tuning in. Again, I really want you all to. Yesterday, I talked about some tips where I talked about barbers. I gave an analogy with the barber. I also gave an analogy of like when you have you know clients, you may have a base price, but if that client requires like a specialty in something, then yeah, you need to definitely charge differently, right? So, all right. Sorry about that, y'all. The little woodpeckers are outside pecking on the tree. That is so cool. Okay. So, anywho, um, so what I wanted to do today, let's talk about how to increase your prices with confidence, right? So we're gonna get right into it. The first question, I want you to get your pen and paper. If you know somebody that needs help with pricing their products or services, I want you to, invite them, share, tag, invite them, right? Because I'm going to drop some jewels today. So, number one, here's what I want you to do for number one. Number one, listen to this. Do you know your numbers? Before we start talking about how to increase my prices with confidence, do you know your numbers? Like, do you know what those numbers look like? Do you know and let me break that down for you. Do you know how much it costs to deliver this product? So if it's a book, you should know, like, how much does it cost for you, your cost, like wholesale? How much does it cost for you to purchase a book? That includes the cost of the book, that includes the shipping the books to you, the author, not the retail cost, but I'm talking about the cost for you to produce this product, right? So you should know your numbers. You should know your numbers in the beginning. What does it cost you if you are a coach, consultant, teacher, speaker? If it costs you money to produce a certain product, like you need to produce templates, or you need to create, you're a creator, you do graphic design work. Like, what are your numbers? Like, what are your numbers? You got to know these numbers before you start thinking about even selling anything, right? You got to know these numbers. And I think a lot of times we just, I don't know, I think we just pull a random number out of the hat and we just start charging this number. And then what we find is on the back end that you end up undercharging. I know because I was there. And I'm going to tell you about that, right? Hey, Tawana, thank you for tuning in. So, What I'm saying is you got to know your numbers. Before we increase the price with confidence, you need to know your numbers first. You got to know your numbers first. How much is it going to cost for you to produce this thing? If it's, you know, if you're selling a product or a service, even if it's product based or service based business, you must know your numbers. You got to know, okay, how much do I need? I need internet to produce certain things. I need to be able to have a certain software. If you're doing graphic design work, maybe you design in AI, maybe you design in beautiful AI. Again, you have to know your numbers because there are costs associated with not just delivering the deliverables, right? But there's cost associated with the things you need to deliver the deliverables, right? So I'll give you an example, another example. I have a book, right? There's a cost associated with shipping this book out to my people who buy the book, right? So not only am I paying a certain amount for the book on at wholesale, not talking about retail, I'm specifically talking about wholesale. How much is it going to cost to ship this book out? So I go with the cheapest affordable shipping rate, which is media mail, right? Media mail, right? So media mail, you put the book in there, then also, so you're going to include, so if my book is at $20, right? It costs me to purchase a book, to buy a book, one book. If it costs me $3.20, so we're going to say $3.20, right? Media mail is anywhere from between, you want to allow $10 for shipping. So now you're at $13.20, right? So for me to produce this thing, I know I got to make the $13.20 back. So what we charging? $15 for the book? You see what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that it has to make sense for you. You have to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you're going to be in the red quickly. Quickly, I'm telling you this because I know. Let me tell you something. When I started my ice cream shop, when I was 23, I had no clue of what I was doing. I didn't even know like my expenses at the time, right? I didn't know. I knew I had to buy ice cream, right? I knew that I needed to go get vendors. I knew that I had to go and like research the vendors that I was going to use. I needed to go and set up a set. I need my sales and resale certificate so that I can go to these vendors and not pay sales tax, right? But more importantly, I really didn't know, like, okay, how much is the light bill going to cost? And let me tell you something. I'm gonna share this because it was funny to me. It's funny now, but then it wasn't. That was the first time I ever in my entire life. That's the first time I ever saw a light bill for $1,000. Yeah, yeah. It costs. It costs to run an ice cream shop. Those coolers, oh yeah, you got to make sure those coolers are running all the time. Otherwise, you're gonna have spoiled ice cream. You're gonna take a loss. So you got to make sure that you got to keep it cool in the ice cream shop. You got to keep the air on. Can't turn the air off, right? But I saw my first $1,000 light bill. So that's what I'm saying. You really need to know your numbers because it's not just, oh, I'm just gonna pick this number. I'm gonna charge $9.97 for this program. But it may cost you $2,000 to produce the deliverables, the products, and the tools that you need. I'm just saying. So you following me? Like, this is why I'm saying you need to know your numbers. It's so vital when you have a business, whether it's product based or service based business. You need to know your numbers, and you need to know that like early on. You really need to know those like early on. I'm telling you, I know what it's like. You start a business, you're so excited about starting this business, and it does not. You start the business, but it's not like you don't know, you're just winging it. You're on the fly. I'm just going to go till the wheels fall off. Right? But you can't do that if your goal is to grow. You got to know the numbers. And I'm telling you, you want to see the numbers coming in, but you got to see the numbers going out. That's the only way you're going to be able to sustain your business and grow, right? So know your numbers. That's number one. Number two. Now, I know I should have did this first, but it doesn't matter because you got to know your ideal client. Not only should you know your numbers, but you need to know your ideal client. You need to know your ideal client. Right? So, yeah. So you need to know your ideal client. Now, what do I mean by that? Your target audience. Who is that? Who are they? Where are they? Where are they most active? Who are they? Are they online? Are they offline? Do they have a job? And I'm asking this question because if they don't have a job, how can they afford your product or services? So these are the questions you need to ask. Where are they? Do they have a job? Right? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have children? Right? Because your product maybe your children's author, right? And you want your target audience are parents. So maybe you have to get to the parents because the parents have the coins to pay for your book. So what I want you to understand is you have to know who your ideal client is before you start selling to them. If you don't know who they are, then what happens is that we tend to sell to everybody. We start selling to our Facebook friends and family. Hey, buy my product. Hey, buy my book. My book is on Amazon. Go to Amazon and buy my book. But what happens is that your friends and family over time, the buzz is going to die down. So I want to give a shout out to all of my Facebook listeners. Kim from the DMV, Clifford, Tawana, thank you all for tuning in today. Again, we're talking about how to increase your prices with confidence. So number one, we talked about, do you know your numbers? Number two, are you clear on your ideal client? That's your target audience. For my authors, it's your reader audience. You still have to know who these people are. Who are the people that are most likely to be interested in your book, your brand, or your business? I'm just saying. And you need to know where they are. Are they online? Are they offline? Right? If they're offline, do you have an email marketing list? Do you have an email list? Have you been collecting the email list? For my authors, I'm going to give you this plug really quickly. When you're doing your book signings and you're out and you're doing these vendor pop-ups, make sure you have an email sign-up sheet or some type of digital QR code where they can sign up to your email list. Yeah. I'm just saying. Same thing with my business owners. Like, make sure you are building your email list. But before you do that, you do need to know who your ideal customer is, because you're going to get somewhere and somebody's going to ask you that question. You may be at a networking event and someone may say, hey, so who are the people that you serve? Who are your people? What's your community like? You got to be able to answer that. You can't be well, it's everybody. No, everybody don't want your product or service. And I had to learn that really quickly. Very quickly. Okay, so that's number two. So you all got that? You got to get clear on your ideal client. That's number two. Number three. Ooh, write this down. Are you unsure of what to charge? A lot of business owners, authors, my coaches, consultants are unsure of what to charge. So is this you? Are you unsure of what you need to charge for your products and services? I know, I've been there. I get it. I know it. I get it. A lot of times we underprice, we undercharge, right? So what happens is, and I'm going to give you an example. Here a few years back, my programs were priced at a certain price, But what I found quickly, like within 30 days, I found out that, man, I'm going in the red. I keep having to go into my personal budget to take care of the remaining in the business budget. Like if I needed to deliver some graphics, or if I needed to deliver some documents, right? It was costing me more. And then I realized, okay, wait a minute, there's a disconnect here. That meant that if I'm going in the red, I'm not charging enough. And so I didn't know my numbers. That's why I'm saying I could say this, because I didn't know my numbers. I was getting the money, right? Same thing with the ice cream shop. The money was coming in, but I didn't know the numbers going out. I mean, until I got that $1,000 light bill. So again, like, are you unsure of what to charge? If you're unsure, hit hashtag unsure. If you're watching this and you're unsure what to charge, or maybe you're charging something, you're already established, you're charging, but you know that you should be making more, right? Put unsure, hashtag unsure. It's okay. It is really, truly okay to not know what to charge. It's okay. It's okay. For my speakers, coaches, and consultant, specifically my speakers, you got to get clear on your speaker price. You should know your speaker price. And if you don't, you need to get with somebody that can help you come up with that price. Kim said hashtag unsure. So Kim, we're going to talk about this because I want to know, like, do you know the value that you're bringing to your audience? Listen, I'm going to say this. The reason why we're unsure of what to charge is because we don't know our numbers. So if you don't know your numbers going in and out, your income and expenses, you're not going to be sure of what to charge. And therefore that means that you're underpricing, you're undervaluing your worth. You're undervaluing, and that's why you're unsure. Right? So, number one, we talked about, do you know your numbers? So, Kim, my question to you, you said hashtag unsure. Do you know your numbers? Do you know your numbers going in? Do you know your numbers coming out? That's you need to ask yourself that. What are my numbers going in? So if Kim is a coach, everybody. So if you're a coach, you have a coaching package. Let's say your coaching package, say laser coaching. You're doing one-on-one coaching, and it is hey Jessica, hey sweetie, I'm sending love your way. You're a coach, right? You're a coach, and you're pricing your packages at, I'm just gonna say $2,000. That's like monthly, $2,000. But you know how much your package is, but you don't know how much your expenses are to deliver whatever it is that you say you're gonna deliver on. Right? So think about that. Think about that. When you're pricing, when you're wanting to increase your prices, number one, write this down. Do you know your numbers? Do you know the money going in? And do you know your numbers coming out? So do you know how much money you're bringing in? And do you know how much your expenses are? So that's the money going out. Right? That's the money going out. And a lot of times we don't know that. We know it, but what we do, we'll dance around it. Oh, I know I got to pay this light bill, my cell phone bill. All of that is all a part of knowing your numbers. All of it. Your cell phone bill, light bill. Jessica, she's a stylist. Clifford is a barber. So like, you have to pay your state fees, all of that. For my coaches, consultants, and speakers, maybe there are speaker fees. Maybe you're part of a speaker association fees. Maybe you're a part of coaching association. Maybe you are, you have LLC annual fees. I know in the state of Florida they do, right? So what are you got all of these expenses? You should know them. You should know them. Like, you should know them like the back of your hand. I know I got to pay light bill. I know I got to pay for my memberships. If you have memberships, if you're a part of an association. You got to have all of these things. So that's what I'm saying. The reason why you're unsure of what to charge is because you do not know your numbers, and you got to know your numbers so that you know what to charge, so that you can increase your prices with confidence. So if you're not charging enough and you're in the red every month, if you're in the red every month, you know that you're not charging enough. There's something on one of those numbers going in and numbers coming out that's elevated, right? One or the other. It's like the Libra scale, right? You got to balance it out. But in order to balance it out, you got to know your numbers first. Does that make sense, y'all? All right. So if you can hear me on Facebook, give me a thumbs up, hashtag. If you're in business, you're a business owner, whether you're a coach, consultant, author, whether you're a stylist, you're in the beauty industry, listen, if you don't, to increase your prices with confidence, you got to know, number one, you have to know your numbers. And number two, you have to be clear on your ideal client. And I'm going to go even a little bit further because I have a mixture of people who are tuning in. You like Jessica is a stylist, Clifford is a barber, but Jessica may be a stylist who specializes in color. So I know color is where the coins reside, right? That's where the money is. So her ideal customer may be people who love getting color, highlights, that nature. Clifford, on the other hand, okay, right? Clifford is a barber, but he may specialize in women cuts. I'm just using that as an example, Cliff. But he may specialize in women cuts, low cuts, like me, like I'm faded. So I get a cut. I get a specialty cut. Now, he may also have customers that they just get regular taper, regular low all over, even all over, right? But guess what Clifford may do? He may charge a certain price for just a regular even all over, but when it comes to those specialty cuts like frohawks, mohawks, things of those nature, guess what? He's increased his price because now he has more time he has to put into the cut, right? The value is the specialty of the cut. That's the value he's bringing. So again, you got to know these numbers. You got to know these numbers in order for you to move to increase your price with confidence, right? So my question to you is, like, where do you want to be in 6 months from now? Right? Where do you want to be 6 months from now with your business, your book, your brand, or your business? You got to know, in order to increase your price, you got to know, one, your numbers, what's going in and coming out. Two, you got to know your ideal client. Three, are you unsure of what to charge? That's okay if you don't know. If you're unsure, it's okay. A lot of us was unsure. We went in red a couple times and we were like, I gotta make a change. There's something has to change. And they made the adjustment. I know I was there. When I saw that $1,000 light bill for the ice cream shop. Like, oh, $1,000? What? Who does that? My first question was like, Stephanie, what did you do? What did you get into? Why did you do this? Like, but on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, at that time, I made no less than $1,000. Thursday, Friday, Saturday were my busy days. So if I made $1,000 on Thursday, I took care of my light bill. That Friday, I took care of the other necessities, right? Re-upping on product on my inventory, making sure that everything, my liability insurance was paid, all of my things that I need were paid, right? So again, you gotta know these numbers in order to increase your price so you can grow your business. Because if you don't know the numbers, you don't know what it costs to produce. How much? I do know this. If you're delivering anything, whether it's a service or a product, You got to know how much it's going to cost you to deliver it to the customer, right? You got to know those numbers. So that's why I asked, number one, like, do you know your numbers? Do you know your numbers? Number two, are you clear on your ideal client? Like, where are they? Who are they? Where are they most active? Are they online, offline? Are they on Facebook, Clubhouse, YouTube, LinkedIn? Who are they? Right? And I want to say this too. Before you increase any price, right? You gotta make sure that you're adding that the value is there. We could talk about time, but we talking about value. The value that these people are getting, and you got to deliver on what you say you're going to do. You got to deliver. You got to deliver. Right? And then are you unsure of what to charge? Right? So, I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys, like, listen, you need to know your numbers first. You need to know your ideal client. Who are they? Who are the people most interested in what you're selling? You got to know that. Because if you don't know that, then what happens is when you start selling to your friends and family and then the buzz die down, I mean, people tell you you need to do reels, you need to do this, oh, you need to do that. You do all this stuff. And then what happens is you feel overwhelmed because you're all over the place. And and the reason why you're all over the place is because you're not clear on who the people you're serving. Does that make sense? So, again, I want to invite you to the Charging Your Worth with Confidence Masterclass. It is going to be it's a one-day class, masterclass next Saturday. It is going to be held via Zoom at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What I'm going to teach you in the masterclass, and I'm just going to share a few things with you really quickly. So what I'm teaching in that class is teaching you how to charge your worth with confidence, right? I'm also going to teach you how to package your product and services in a way that get results, right? So even if you have a product, whether you have a service, right, I'm going to teach you how to package them in a way that gets results where people will buy into what you're selling. And one of the important things I'm also going to teach in this masterclass is how to figure out who your ideal client is. You got to know that first. You got to know that. You got to know that first. I'm just saying, right? We got to know this first. The reason why we don't know this, I want to share something with you. The reason why we think we'll start selling to people like right away is because we think everybody can use our product or service. And that's not the case. That's just not the case. Right? So, I'm going to teach you how to gain more ideal paying customers before selling your products or services. So the reason why you need to know these numbers, you know your ideal client, is because before you start selling, you're clear on who they are, who you're serving. So when you start the marketing process and your marketing process, it's going to be organic and they're going to know you're going to be speaking directly to that audience, right? So, and I'm also going to teach you how to charge premium prices for your services with confidence. See, a lot of times we don't charge what we want to charge. A lot of people don't even like talking about pricing. They don't even like talking about it. It's almost like it gives them anxiety to talk about this. The only reason why I'm talking about this is because I was in the red every month for a while, because I didn't know my numbers. I didn't know my numbers. I did it. Right. So I'm also going to give you, you're going to have a pricing profit method. Like you need to know how to price. That's the method that I'm going to teach. And the bonus you're going to get is a purchasing agreement. A lot of us are selling products and services. We're not protecting our brand. So we don't have a purchasing agreement in place. So when people go to check out, or they go to buy our services, we don't cover ourselves, right? This purchasing agreement that I'm going to provide in the masterclass is going to help you. It's going to help with chargebacks. If you haven't never had a chargeback, let me tell you what that is. That's when you render a service, right? Product or service. Someone goes into their bank and the customer goes into their bank, and guess what they do? They dispute the charge. But having this purchasing agreement in place, when they dispute the charge, it's going to go in your favor because they've agreed to that they're purchasing your product or service, right? A lot of us don't have that in place. I know for a fact I would say maybe 90% of people don't have that in place. And the only reason why I'm talking about this is because you can raise your price all you want to, but you also got to think about protecting your brand. Like, you're not in business to give refunds. And sometimes you may have to give a refund because sometimes things just don't work out. That's why it's so vital to be clear on your ideal client. Sometimes we'll onboard, we'll underprice a product or service just to get the sale. And then that would be the worst headache, because now this client, they just feel like they're privy to you all the time. They can just call you whenever they want to call you, right? They feel like that you don't have a life. Yeah. So if you want to sign up for the masterclass, I would love to have you join us. It's stephaniewynn.com/masterclass. This is going down next Saturday, January 29th. If you're listening to us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. The link is in the description. Sign up, get your ticket. Let me tell you something. Before you increase your price, you need to do 3 things, right? You need to know your numbers. You need to know who your ideal client is, right? And before you increase, right, you got to know how much your current packaging, your prices are now to even increase. You got to know your numbers. So it all goes back to fully knowing your numbers. So once you know your numbers, you know your ideal client, right? You're clear on the products and services that you're offering. A lot of us are charging some things, we're not delivering on it, or we're not confident in this package, whatever it is that you're charging. So again, if you have any questions, drop your comments in the, if you're catching this on the replay, hit #replay. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Jessica, Kim, Clifford, Tawana, thank you all so much for tuning in to this live. Listen, in order for you to increase your prices with confidence, you first got to know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you really need to get clear on what's coming in and what's going out, right? And you got to know who your ideal customer is, because it's not everybody. Everybody does not want what you're selling, but there's always one person who needs what you have. And remember this, if nobody knows that you exist, nobody knows to buy into what you're selling. So I'm your girl, Stephanie A. Wynn. Thank you for tuning in today. Till tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You all be safe. Take care. Bye.